I really want to call you Mr. Anderson from because whenever I see your name on X, I think Mr. Anderson.
So do my
But
friends.
I don't know, I can't help it. But David Quaid, who's a frequent guest on this podcast, who's an excellent SEO himself, he has recommended you so highly as just one of the best SEOs around. So I'm like, I have to have this guy on my show. And a lot of the biggest SEOs follow you to hear what you have to say.
That's surprising. Yep, David has turned out to be a bit of a friend over the last year or two. We've had quite the respectful jousts on matters of eat, mainly. I think that's for next. I think that's 2026's main battle.
I'm actually in a somewhat debate with David on Eat over X right now. I don't know if you saw my posts on it.
Um,
It's like a somewhat debate.
yep, I'm in a couple of debates myself about it, and so is David.
It's fun.
Yep. Um, with the eat stuff, I think David and I agree on a lot of stuff. A lot. We agree on a lot more than it might look on X and things. David likes to introduce the odd straw man, I believe, when he's talking about it. I'm sure at some point he'll be able to give me a full response to any accusations I am making. Um,
He might leave one in the comments of this episode.
yep. And I welcome David. Any comments from David? He knows what he's doing. David operates in the nuance of it.
Can you, sorry to interrupt you, can you give your background before we even go into all of this?
Okay, well, I started in an advertising agency in 1999 and I formed the web development division of it in 2001 or 2, can't really remember. Um, and then I spent about 4 or 5 years building websites for universities and colleges. Um, I won a national award for a college website I built for the advertising agency I worked for. I think that was 2006. And then I formed Hobo, Hobo Web. That was my nickname in forums. Back then, we all had stupid names. Um, I will, like, for instance, SEO Idiot. One of my friends of those. A shout out to Paul Madden. Um, and when we moved from the forums to blogging, a lot of us had to change our names, and I ended up keeping mine. That's the reason, really.
Hobo Web.
Yep.
Yeah, that's your X handle.
Yep.
Is it your birthday today, by the way?
Yep.
Wow. Happy birthday. When I went to your X profile before this, I got all these balloons.
Yep. So did I just there.
Yeah, and it said it's your birthday. So happy birthday.
Yep. Thank you very much. 52, I think.
Wow.
I stopped counting, obviously.
Well, you look great.
Oh, thank you very much. The
This method of marketing is so effective, I had to make sure it wasn't against Google's rules before I kept doing it. It's a form of SEO I call compact keywords. Whereas most SEO focuses on putting up articles to answer questions how, what, when, compact keywords focuses on putting up dozens of pages that sell to searchers who are actually looking to buy. These pages rank on Google and convert so much better than normal that when I discovered this years ago, I couldn't believe this was allowed. It's less work too. The average compact keywords page is only 415 words. Compact Keywords is a 13-hour deep course on getting sales with SEO. A customer recently said, "Each lesson is dense with information. You're giving years worth of experience boiled down into 15 to 30 minute lessons with no filler or fluff. I feel like I'm gaining a new superpower." Compact Keywords is about setting up an SEO funnel that brings you sales for years and years and years. It works with AI, it's less work than traditional SEO, and it makes way more money. You can get it now at compactkeywords.com. Back to the podcast.
So from 2006, it was, SEO was my original,
You've been doing SEO, you said, since 2006.
well, not really, because
Okay.
I was doing SEO since 2001 or two.
Great. So you've seen everything.
Just about. I've been hit by everything.
Oh, man.
The first job I ever got, my directors in the agency came in and asked me, they were panicking, this new SEO thing, they were going to lose clients and stuff, and I just put my hand up and said I would have a look at it. I was really into accessible web development at the time. When I was really, if you think the SEO crowd is a hard crowd, you should try the web accessibility crowd. They are a much harder crowd. I said I would have a look and see if I could fix the problem. And one Google, I think I landed on Aaron Wall's SEO book back in the day, and Jim Boykin. These were the blogs that were starting to talk about SEO and things like that. So it was those kind of blogs that I ended up going to find, and Aaron Wall had a book about SEO and things like that. I'm trying to think when this was. It was between 2002, 2004 or something. I can't really remember at the moment. When I really did start to look at SEO, and well, I ranked the site within minutes. Back then, you could rank within minutes, where you could modify something and it would rank.
So you get the book, and then you're ranking within minutes.
Yep. And
do you remember what you did? Was it like, what did you do? You just put a keyword in the right place?
Well, I had access to a lot of college websites. So I just pointed a lot of just pointed a lot of links at whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
And yep, it was instant rankings kind of things. And it was really, I mean, SEO is still really quite simple. It's not really changed in that sense. If you've got access to the properties that would pass along it. I put that in there for David. And from there it was pretty much plain sailing up until Panda hit, and we fixed that pretty quickly too.
Really, you fixed it pretty quickly.
Yep. By first of all removing CRUD. I can't remember who came up with that term. I usually pretty good at that too. Or was it Glenn Gabe, actually? He was talking about it at the time a lot as well. Josh Businke. Sorry, I'm getting...
yeah, no, it's okay.
He's another guy who was talking about it at the time. Talking about the stuff that I was witnessing. And back then, to deal with Panda, someone said to me, I used to just fix sites and then move along. I never really hung about. I think that was part of my name. So I did fix a site for one guy, and he phoned me up years later and says that I made millions of pounds. And that was simply by demonstrating what we would call today, demonstrating removing low quality pages. That's what happened. There was nothing much beyond that. We just reduced the size of the site and demonstrated it across the site on every single page in the site. And so it was all plain sailing. Come March 26, 2012, I got a nice email from Google saying that I was penalised and that everybody who was kind of connected to me was penalised.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. And over that, so that was exactly.
What was it like? What was it like receiving that email? Do you remember?
Well, in the run up to Penguin, I wasn't getting involved. I'd actually pulled away back from the links and stuff, and I'd actually used a network pointing at my site to give me a kind of canary in the mine. I thought if I was going to get hit, then I would know, and then I could deal with it for clients and things like that. And in the run up to Penguin in April 26th, was that 26th or 24th? You just couldn't compete. 2011, 2012, it was a wild west. You needed links, and people like Phantomaster had something called 10 links a day, for instance. A well-known black hat back then. I don't even know if he's still operational, but some of his automations are still operational. So it was as easy as signing up to something like that, and once you told clients, look, these guys are doing this, everybody's doing it in this cert, are we going to get involved? And I honestly thought that the 2012 was a rope-a-dope period for Google. While we were all complaining and asking them to do something, over that 2 year prior, it just looked as if nothing was getting done properly.
Yeah.
And so I really only get into the links really hard in 2011, just before it, because I thought, well, can't really compete without them. And
so you received this email, and your sites are all getting hit.
Yes, and I come into my office, and at the time I had 10, 15 people in the office, and I basically say, that's it, it's over. One day, so I get hit the month before Penguin, and then on Penguin, the rest of my clients get hit and everyone else get hit, so I kind of get double tapped.
Oh gosh.
I had a lot of traffic at the time, and was quite visible. I mean, I think yep. And at the time, I think they took out the I don't normally do this, but the influencers, the people that was visible,
right.
They wanted to take us out so that we would tell everybody what the.
That's interesting.
What the game
that
was.
happened actually with people who were putting up mass amounts of AI generated content on their site when ChatGPT was released. They would make a big deal. Look at all these rankings we're getting, and then their entire Google search consoles were hit. So that, I mean, this is, I guess, a play.
Yep.
That they do, and it happened like 3 years ago.
Rope-a-dope. Yeah. They let the pawns go first. I never really get involved in any of the AI stuff. I was looking at clients doing it. Everybody that was doing it at the time, where I knew they were going to get hit. The trajectory of they were maxing out the trajectory for traffic going to a site. That's just not sustainable.
You said this was back in 2012 or 3 years ago?
That was 3 years ago when people were maxing out the trajectory. I warned all my clients not to touch it, not to put it anywhere near the sites.
They're like, this is too much fun.
Yep.
Look at we're brilliant. Look at all the traffic we're getting. We're so smart.
Yep. And I already knew that there was some kind of rebalancing algorithm in Google that you were normalized after a certain period of time. And even now today, if you look at HCU people, that anybody to sit after a traffic surge like that, whatever they go to, whatever Google drops them to, is usually the same as where they started. And if you look at, sometimes it's not that visible because some people start from nothing and then tank. But for a site that's got some history that then does that usually gets took back down to where they were, except now the site is littered with unhelpful content, which impacts the ranking of other pages on the site, because Google, and there's many things in the Google leak that talk about smearing a signal. So Google takes a couple of samples of pages and then smears it across the rest of the site. So this is one of the things about Eat, for instance. That would be something that would probably be smeared across the entire domain. So they don't need to check every page. They only need to check a small sample. And then that's smeared. So, yep.
So you're saying if you have even a few bad pages on your site that are really spammy, that can hurt the rest of your website.
Yes. Now, I'll give you an example as well. Something David and I talk about. I say to David, if you monetize a page, then it's game on. I mean, it's as simple as that. Now I've done tests before. I've took a perfectly ranking page.
I'm sorry, what does game on mean? If you monetize a page, it's game on. What does game on mean?
It's game on as far as Google is concerned.
Like Google has a problem with that?
Well, in the Google leak, for instance, there is an attribute code.
Or sorry, are you talking about monetizing it with like an affiliate link? With how are you monetizing it?
However, sorry, there's someone knocking at my hotel room door here, so
oh my gosh,
I'm just going to ignore it for a moment.
Yeah. I can't hear it, so it's okay.
Monetization. What is monetization? Even in the Google leak, it says commercial score, and it says in the wee note beside it, does the site sell something? So there's a difference between writing about something for the common good, or a diary, or to publish information, for instance. But as soon as you sell something on a site, then you, and in the Google leak, it's called commercial score. A score of 0 means you don't sell anything. So it's a spectrum, a gradient of how commercial the page and how commercial the site is. So any kind of link that monetizes a page changes the intent of a page. So that's what I mean about game on, because as soon as you monetize, then it's game on for Google's more commercially focused algorithm aspects.
So it's not necessarily a problem, because there's probably I don't want people to be listening and be like, well, I sell stuff and I have pages that sell stuff, and like I don't want to get hit by Google for selling stuff. I mean, personally, from what I've seen, is actually my pages that do best are their bottom of funnel. So they're literally targeting people who are purchase intent. They want to make a purchase. They want to use something. They want to call up a service business. And those are, for me, like the easiest pages to rank.
Yep. And we need pages like that. We do. Where it becomes problematic is, say you have a site that is ranking for a term, and it's ranking really well, and then you apply affiliate links to it. You've changed the commercial intent of the page.
That makes sense.
Now, on its own, if that was just one page in your site or a few pages in your site, then no problem. Now, where it becomes problematic is when people say, oh, I'm now going to make a page that is completely affiliate based, and the every page is designed to sell and pass on to Amazon or I mean, this is commercial activity now, and now you're really competing with Google. I mean, anytime you monetize anything, you're actually, especially with ads, you're actually competing with Google now. I mean, why is Google sending a visitor to your site when you've got all these ads jumping out and stuff, and all the things that Google would love to do but don't really do, like pop-ups and stuff, all that stuff. And in the Google leak, that's called clutter score. It looks for interstitials and things like that and pop-ups. I think it's got a really, I think it's some, is it 1026 or something? I mean, it's a really big gradient there. I mean, they really look granularly at how intrusive your advertising is. And they even say in the Google documentation, a quote, don't let ads, is it bad ads? Don't let ads impact your Google rankings. So monetizing a few pages is not going to be a problem. Building an affiliate site from the ground up is going to be a problem. And plus, you don't have any. You're going to put it up there, you're instantly competing against sites with it. And even when we talk about it, I mean, even if we just talk about it from a purely links-based point of view, I used to be really into links, I even wrote...
Really anti-links.
No, really into links. No, really...
Into links, yeah.
And I mean, I remember the first book I ever wrote and published was an SEO for beginners book, in the style of Aaron Wall's book that helped me. So I thought, well, I'll do the same, and I just done it. And the second book I published, which is kind of gone now because it kind of merged into my second books, was a book on link building. And when I announced that my link building book was coming out the next day, someone from Google texted me and said, well, I'm really looking forward to seeing this links book.
That is hilarious.
And
do you still have a lot of friends on the Google search team?
I'm very friendly with the folk I talk to on the Google search team. They're very approachable. I won't name any names.
Sure.
They can. I do have a kind of policy that I don't talk about particular sites or even mention people that. Everything's private, especially when you're dealing with Google search. You want these people
to trust you.
Yes, because they're not allowed to help any individual sites. So I'll give you an example of how they helped me once and how I made 12.
I thought you were going to talk about this.
Sorry?
No, I said I thought you were going to talk about this, but no, I'm totally joking. I want to hear the example.
Yep. So I was I contacted, as I said, if any SEO says they've got a special relationship with Google or that they've got a special hotline with Google, everyone has. I mean, you can literally email or contact through LinkedIn any of the main Google people, and they will answer you. I mean, everybody's got access to this, especially they won't answer you if you're spamming Google, but if you've got a real question. So I've got an example for you. Someone paid me quite a lot of money. Again, I don't talk about exact figures.
It's fine.
To solve a challenge they had, and this was before Google removed the geo-targeting option. It was about a year or two before or something, and I was sitting thinking, these guys have screwed this up because they've selected this. And so I asked Google, I reached out to someone at Google and I says, look, this geo-targeting thing, I think is actually hurting people who are just clicking it and not knowing what it actually really does. In Search Console at the time. And so I asked the Googler, look, I'm going to take that off. Because it was one of these risky things, do you know what I mean? You're really playing with somebody's livelihood, and it was a big site. And in these instances, when you're talking about Search Console, you're talking about the options, you're talking about your worries. These are the things a Googler's going to respond to you about. And I asked them some specific questions, and their answer specifically omitted the answer was in the omission. It's hard to explain. As soon as
No, I understand.
as soon as he gave me the answer to the question, they were actually telling me what to do. When you've got to read between the lines, but they never gave me direct advice on a binary yes or no, but they told me something and I read between the lines and I ended up deselecting the button and the traffic went like that, and then shortly after I think Google removed actually.
It was because of you.
No, I doubt that. John Mueller particularly likes debunking things I've done in the past. Like for instance, I worked out that through a lot of tests that Google seemed to only count 12 words in a title tag. I mean, this was way back in 2009 or whatever, and I'd run hundreds of tests on it, and I was pointing out to people. I was just and when I test things, normally I test stuff, and I welcome anyone coming back and saying, "Oh, this is wrong," or here's. And then, because then the full body of work that we've created together it is actually useful. So I'm not precious about anything I publish. If anything I publish is corrected, then good. We're all part of the story, kind of thing. And I actually took a few years off just before lockdown because I was looking after my kid, and I only noticed a couple of weeks ago that John Mueller had debunked another thing I'd found, which I'd found that Google at the time seemed to only count 16 words in an alt text. And I'd basically done a lot of tests on every single attribute. I had access to a lot of different sites, and I tested every attribute and tried to identify what the limits were. And certainly 12 words at the time was a safe limit, and I know for a fact and I've been told a lot of people actually use that advice. Even massive networks of sites use that limit and got
alt text.
Sorry, that's on the title tags.
On the title tag.
Yeah, back then it was all about title tags. I mean, you just put 12 words in the title tag and you were ranking for everything. I mean, that was basically it. It was. I also worked out and kind of demonstrated that internal links actually do carry anchor text value. Rand Fishkin promoted it at the time. I think that was so. I really did work everything out very granular back in the day. That's where my interest in SEO was. I used to think if you crack Google, you would get an award. I think, and I'd like young SEOs to understand that's not the way it works. So you were asking about so after Penguin. So Penguin hit and that destroyed. One day we were selling apples, and the next day I had to sell oranges. To a few people. I think I had 26 clients at the time, and every one of them was hit.
Oh my gosh.
Because that was the time.
So I want to move to like right now, 2025, heading into 2026.
Okay.
Your focus on EAT is really interesting. So I'd love for you to explain EAT, how you view EAT, and then how websites, like anything that webmasters can do to put to send more EAT signals, or quote, I don't know, like EAT signal is probably not the right term, but to give their websites more experience, expertise, authoritativeness. The T is trust.
Yep.
Wait, the A is authoritativeness, trustworthiness. Yeah. To give to do that for all of their websites.
Well, I'm Scottish.
And what it means and what EAT means to you.
Well, I'm Scottish, so first of all, I use the shorter words. So authority, experience, expertise, authority, and trust. Now, EAT, for instance, someone could demonstrate EAT all they want on the site. They could go and do everything that I would say to them, like an EAT checklist, for instance. But that on its own doesn't add EAT. It does add the foundation of EAT, but it doesn't add EAT. So if you take a brand new site, for instance, with no history, the people behind it has no history, and you
Sorry, the people behind it what?
Has no history.
No history.
Okay. And you add EAT, so to speak, then you've really not got much to work with. There is no EAT as a concept. I mean, EAT means the reason you exist. The reason you exist online. So this is where all the arguments start. So one person without EAT applies the EAT checklist and gets nowhere, whereas another person who has not demonstrated the EAT that they have properly on the site and then does that, those people can experience a kind of marked increase. Now, the reason for that is because trust is the number one ranking factor, or Google wants it to be. So even back in 2018, Gary Elias told Marie Haynes that EAT was still mostly about links. Now, without that wee bit of snippet of information from Marie, I think it was at PubCon 2018, we wouldn't know this. So EAT was mostly about links. Okay, so we can tell from that. It used to all be about links. When Google started, it was about PageRank. Now, over the years, it looks like Google has introduced trust, especially, to override what the web thinks of you. So the web might think. I noticed someone the other day talking about a DA 88 site that had totally tanked in traffic. Now I have some ideas around that, exactly why that could happen. Nothing to do with content. It's to do with trust. Trust is based on who operates the site. I mean, that's basically it. It's based on who operates the site. Whereas,
what does Google look at? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, carry on.
I interrupted. What does Google look at to discern trust?
In the helpful content, I mean, they spell it out. I mean, they literally spell it out. And this is what I try to do with the leak. Try to map it to how they spell it out, because I really do think Google's guidelines are a direct reflection of the attributes that are in the leak, and that altogether they form.
By the way, for people who don't know, we're talking about the Google API leak in, I believe it was May of last year, 2024.
Yep. as first exposed by Rand
Rand.
Fishkin and Mike King. What's the other boy that actually found it? You need
I don't remember his name either.
the
He was the one who sent it to Rand, right?
I've got his face and his picture and his bits that might come in there. Afra, it'll come to me. It'll come to me.
Okay.
That'll annoy me. That'll come to me.
Actually, it might have been Dan Petrovic who discovered it first.
No, there was a lot of talk in the back channels about who had it and who had different bits of it. Normally, I get passed along things. I didn't. I was actually building software at the time. So when I seen Mike King and stuff was looking at it, I didn't even bother with it just now. And I was looking at the HCU stuff. So I was actually looking at real sites. I looked at about between 100 and 200 sites. And I got access to their search console and stuff. And I was looking at what was the impact of HCU kind of on the ground. And it wasn't really until this year that I started looking at the leak and trying to put it all together. It wasn't until this year I really did in depth look at the leak. But yeah, Mike King and that done a great job at the beginning, just identifying it and stuff. The very first thing I looked for was the quality stuff. I mean, even when it broke, the very first stuff.
Yeah. So back to what we were saying. How does Google discern trust? How does Google discern trust? How does it discern authority, experience, expertise?
Okay, so mostly it's links.
There's links for trust.
Links carry everything on a certain level.
Is Google looking at stuff on page that people can add to their sites?
Yes. They want to know. Well, E is for your users. I mean, that's what Google's saying. In their guidelines, they want to know who specifically wrote the content, who owns the site, and how the content was created. So, I mean, these are the three kind of main things Google are looking for. So,
how do you tell it that? How do you tell it how the content was created, or who owns the site, or who wrote the content?
About pages, privacy policies, any kind of policies that that you should have. And I'll give you an example. Some of the people I was looking at the HCU stuff that were hit really badly didn't have the correct, or even they wouldn't even be operating legally in their country, selling the things they were selling. I was looking at somebody who was selling a course, for instance. They get smashed. There's a few people like this. In their blog was kind of sprawling. They were touching on different topics and stuff, and they were monetizing it. But I mean, all of a sudden, I mean, who's taking responsibility for this? Who takes responsibility if a paying customer has got a problem? Is it Google? I mean, Google's sending you there. I mean, imagine Google sends you to a site that you sign up for something and they rob you. Whose responsibility is that? So Google wants its search full of responsible sites, ultimately. This is why they're really going hard against expired domains. Because expired domains had all this heat, and they have it. And then a black hat will come along and just change it or resurrect the site so that it looked the way it did before it went down. But the person behind the site is not the same. Or the company behind the site is not the same. So, in Google's point of view, and John Mueller, for instance, has alluded to this years ago. If it's not the same person and not the same site, why are they allowing it to rank where it does. If the current site operator has none of the that afforded the site the good rankings in the first place. Now, back in the day, it was just all about links. So if you had links from high quality sites, then pointing to yours, then I mean that was it. That was fine. But I mean, 2018 Medic update and stuff. I mean that ended that kind of thing, and it was already in the works for at least 4 years. Even away back to 2008 and stuff. They were already trying to introduce. They weren't just letting the number of links and the quality of links control your rankings anymore. I mean that is the whole definition of it. There's, in my view, there's a kind of contract that you have. You've got to publish helpful content, and you've got to put
What does helpful even mean, though?
That it's not that it's.
For me, it's and I'm asking this, by the way, from the perspective of somebody who might not be doing SEO the right way. Like for me, maybe for a lot of people, helpful is quite obvious. But then there's also this other camp where they're like, I'm sure that my content is helpful, and it's like a ton of fluff. The answer is very thin. People are searching around the page, and then they're going back to the SERPs and pogo sticking.
Yeah. So helpful content is, I mean, it's content it's designed to help someone when they land on the page. Now, if what you determine as helpful is that you've added helpful links to your Amazon store, I mean, that's not helpful content. It's just not helpful content. You've commercialized it. I mean, the whole intent now has changed. So, and remember, every site is different. Every site is going to be treated differently because Google's a system of competing philosophies. So one system's pushing you up and another system's pushing you down. And you've got millions of these. It's almost like one of those.
Okay, so I'd love for your take on this, just so people don't think like, and maybe your opinion is that like if you're an affiliate in SEO, you're screwed. But so I want your take, because last week I had on one of the top mattress affiliates, mattress reviews, very competitive space. This person he owned naplab.com, and it was the top mattress affiliate site or one of them. And what's interesting is he started the site 4 years ago, and Helpful Content Update came along, and he kept going up and up and up. And he talked about what he does and how he runs the site, and he does everything white hat. And he ranks for things like firm mattress. Like he ranks for crazy keywords like firm mattress. He'll probably rank for like best mattress soon. Like he's ranking for really crazy keywords, lots of them. And I think since March, he even like 3x'd his traffic or 4x'd his traffic, which was already substantial. So what do you make of like a very successful affiliate site like that? And it is literally, they just do mattress reviews and they have affiliate codes on everything.
Yeah, I used to rank. I used to rank in that niche.
Oh, really?
Yep, I used to rank high in that niche.
Have you heard of the site that I'm talking about? naplab.com?
No. This was over a decade ago. I was in that that niche.
Yeah. So what do you make of like the success of this site? Is it because he's doing things white hat? He has like a history. They really do thorough testing of the mattresses, like exhausting testing of the mattresses.
You just answered your own question. They've demonstrated experience with the product.
Yeah. So what you're saying is like an affiliate site can be okay if they're actually doing like the right work. Now you take an affiliate site that's recommending products that they haven't purchased and that they can't really demonstrate that they've purchased, and that's where it becomes problematic.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Yes. Now, and also a small addition. Is anyone in the mattress niche writing about the best mattress that isn't monetizing?
Good point.
So when everybody's monetizing, somebody still needs to rank. And it's the same when you go into even the much, I mean, casinos and stuff like that. Is anyone writing that content that isn't monetized? So when the niche is fully monetized, it's what separates you from the competition. And this.
So you're saying Google would rather have a piece of content, like if it had to choose between two pages targeting the same keyword, and one was, and let's say they're like mostly equal, one was monetized, the other was not monetized, Google would actually prefer the not monetized piece of content.
In my experience, yes.
Interesting.
Now, it's not as obvious. I mean, I done a test. I put a PayPal link on a page in the day.
What if the intent is to actually like make a purchase or something, or call somebody, or use a product?
Well, usually, I mean, we're working on a commercial web here, so usually the intent is to monetize. I mean, this is why commercial scores there, for instance, going to 1026 and things like that. Do you know what I mean? Is it? I might be getting mixed up with the numbers. But these commercial scores, because some scores go to 0 to 1, 0 to 10, 0 to 512, 0 to 1, 0 to 4. Some of these attributes, they're really looking at things granularly. So, in my experience, if a piece of content was not monetized and it was still as valuable as a commercial piece of text, and both people had experience and eat, so to speak, and links, then the informational content will probably do better. Now, I've tested this before I heavily monetized my site at a period, and it tanked rankings because my site was.
You heavily monetized it with affiliate links.
Yeah, not even affiliate links. No, these were actual payment links. So payment processor links. So the last test I did, they were easier to kind of determine. And by applying the payment links to certain pages, the rankings dropped, tanked. And removing the links brought rankings back. Now that particular test was at least 2 or 3 years ago. But it's always left me, and it's with the view that monetized content is going to struggle to rank against non-monetized content. Ergo, why Wikipedia? Why Google likes ranking Wikipedia and things like that. Certainly that's where I got most of my rankings from back in the day, because my site was very under monetized.
Right. So, but I want to ask you. So you work with companies, doing SEO for companies still, or yeah?
Yep.
And I'm assuming you're working with companies that make money.
Yep.
And that use SEO to make money.
Yep.
So how are they using SEO to make money?
Very carefully. This year, even over the last 6 months, my recommendation to everyone I've been working on was to beef out all the demonstrable expertise that the company has. I mean, so for instance, even on my site, for instance, I published when I was offered a job in the advertising agency in 1999, I published my letter of contract on my website, and so that now AI systems have proof that I have a certain level of experience. It's not just something I'm saying now. I've got demonstrable proof that I'd built all these websites in 2002 and 3 and won awards and stuff. I'm not just saying it. Everything is backed up with facts. And so I've been asking my clients at the moment to really beef out the experience of their authors on the site, to certainly remove any fake authors. I mean, you can do this yourself. You can. I've made a lot of prompts. You can use Gemini. Just point Gemini. In fact, I've got some of these things on my site called Agentica, which were I actually published about a month or two before Amazon, because that's what I call it, before Claude brought out Claude Skills. And basically, I didn't know what to call them. I just called them Agentica. And these were... And so you can actually try out one of them, or 4 of them on my site. One of them is Rate My Page Quality. So it would be Hobo Rate My Page Quality. And people can rate their page quality, and as Gemini would rate it. Now, the reason I'm confident that this is a factor now is because there's something in the Google leak called content effort. And
Content effort.
And
effort,
yep,
right?
Content effort. So, and it even says in the notes beside the attribute, an LLM based estimation of the effort that went into an article. So Gemini, I think Google Gemini, for want of a better word, is working out if certain pages pass content effort. Now, content effort is not just about the words on the page. It's not just about...
it's not just about the length of the page, the word count.
It's about who wrote it.
It's actually about like how much effort you took into getting the ideas for that content.
Well, take me, for instance. I've spent 20 years spamming Google and a few years not spamming them. So when I write something, especially on a platform, the amount of effort that would take me to write about something to do with, I mean, I've put decades of kind of work into this. So that is, and it's when Google talks about experience and stuff. So I firmly believe that this holistic view of content about how much effort is in the actual article, yes, but how much, who is the person that wrote it? Have they put a lot of time into their trade? Do they know what they're talking about? Do they have links from high quality sources and citations and testimonials and stuff that would demonstrate expertise? So that's content effort. So you can test this using Gemini. Just point your site, point a page at it, and Google will tell you, especially if you put it into deep research, and use it as a RAG-based operator. And in fact, this is actually the system I am helping Searchable.com build at the moment. There's 2 aspects to Searchable. One is the, whatever you want to call it, the geo, the AEO, I don't know. That actually works. So I'm not in that department. I'm actually in the SEO department, where we're looking at these things like author score, commercial score, site focus score, these kind of things that are all directly coming from a Google leak, that we think that, at least in some level, in AI, because remember, 2024, the last few years, AI has been good enough, and GOOG, good enough for Google. So, and it looks as though they're trying to get AI into everything.
It does look that way. I mean, literally on my Chrome browser right now, just on the top right corner, I just have a big Gemini button.
Yep.
This huge Gemini button.
Yep. I've been working with AI since it was that 3 years now? So that's basically 3 years.
Yeah, ChatGPT was released December 2022.
Yep. It was December. Was it not November? Well, I don't know. I think December, because I think December 15th is. I think you're right. Yep. That's when I kind of started using it properly. Yeah, there was obviously the versions before that, and I'd heard about it, but it was ChatGPT.
When it was released, I was doing a launch on producthunt.com. I don't know if you've heard of Product Hunt.
Yep.
I was doing a launch for my startup on producthunt.com. One of them. And the launch was going great. We were in position 1, and throughout like the afternoon, we were number 1 on Product Hunt. And slowly, I saw this thing with like this weird name, ChatGPT, starting at the bottom, and it had like this weird green and purple logo. It was like weird logo, kind of like ugly logo, and the name I'd never heard ChatGPT. It just had all these like letters on it. GPT, what is this? And it was weird because I was showing number 1. I was number 1 on Product Hunt. And throughout the afternoon, I just watched it go up and up and up from all the way at the bottom of Product Hunt, up and up and up and up and up and up. And then it was at number 5. I was still at number 1. Then it was at number 4. I was still at number 1. What is happening? This thing is at number 3 now. Oh my gosh, it's at number 2 now. And then, oh my God, I don't remember the exact time. It beat me and it was number 1, but it kept going and it dwarfed us in terms of upvotes on Product Hunt. And I said, okay, I got to try this thing. And I tried it and I stayed up until 4:30 or 4 a.m. playing with this thing. And I'm like, this is the craziest technology I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe this. And it was the same day that we launched. And so I always remember when ChatGPT came out because of that.
Yep. Same. I remember I remember making the first thing. I mean, I spent 2 years, at least a year, swearing, hitting my computer, shouting at a software program. But it's really good for the first 80% of whatever you're building. But then as soon as I try to build something complicated, it was very quickly you noticed, hold on a second here, this thing seems to be faking a lot. And I did publish an article at the time saying, I think everybody needs to look out for this, because this is, you're not supposed to anthropomorphize.
Anthropomorphize, yeah.
Sorry, I'm Scottish.
Yeah.
An AI, but the AI was constantly doing it itself,
lying.
Yep. And comparing itself against humans and stuff.
So you were using ChatGPT to code at the time.
Yeah, right away.
When it launched. So actually, one of my business partners is coming on the show in a few days to share what he's been doing with anti-gravity, and he's been showing me Google's anti-gravity. It is so he told me, he's like, everyone is sleeping on this because the models are only good enough recently where they're not hallucinating and making tons of mistakes. I mean, they hallucinate a little bit like any model does, but like the mistakes are dramatically less than it was doing before. So he's using Google's anti-gravity, and I see him making all of these iterations to a product that we have. And I'm like, oh man, my co-founder is grinding. And I talked to him, I'm like, man, you made this this feature that people have been requesting for such a long time. He's like, dude, I made it in under a minute. He literally fired on another one of his companies. He fired a dev team that he was paying, I think it was like $70,000 a month for, replaced them entirely with himself, one of his co-founders, and then someone at their company. So they replaced it was like a 7-person dev team with 3 people, all super powered with like anti-gravity and cursor. And, it's now like what's happening is it's crazy and inspiring, because if you want to build something and do SEO for it, you can do it pretty easily. It's amazing.
Yep. What I've found is that it hasn't really removed any work from me. In fact, it's got me working at 10 times the capacity. And
so you're talking about doing software development?
even in writing as well.
Well, here's the thing: in SEO, the advice that AI will give you will still be very bad. Like you actually need to have experience to discern the good advice from the bad advice, because ChatGPT or whatever or Gemini will still give you extremely generic SEO advice. It's not going to tell you contrarian things like what you will say or what David Quaid will say or what I will say. It's not going to tell you the contrarian things that work. It's going to repeat a lot of the garbage that has been written about in SEO articles over the years. And but yeah, I guess when it comes to development, like they've made a lot of improvements.
Yep, it's all about consensus. Google's even got something in there called consensus. Is it consensus score? The I find that I mean, even I was quite disappointed with Gemini 3, but
Really?
yes, or for what I was using it for at the time, and this, but Gemini 2.5 was really great when it's used as a RAG based kind of assistant. Now, when you're just using it, the kind of the non-RAG based kind of grounded, how would you describe it? When you're just asking it questions out the box, it's not really that good. None of the systems are that good. I mean, I can Grok and things, even ChatGPT. I mean, I don't really think any of them are that good. But as soon as you start using the RAG-based system where they are leaning heavily on Google results, because Google has actually already sorted the web out. They've already took care of the eat, generally speaking. So now a lot of these things are relying heavily on Google, the Google search index. So using it as a RAG-based assistant is much more valuable. But even then, it's going to pull back information that you as an expert, you need some experience or expertise in what you're about to publish. If you've used AI to actually create your content. Now, I've got a big massive meta test going on at the moment. I totally redid my site with AI content over the last couple of months.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, actually, I saw that on your site. I saw that you have the disclaimer saying that it was generated by AI.
Yep, because Google's said that there's nothing wrong with AI content as long as it's used like more like Grammarly. I mean, if you're trying to auto-complete your ideas or trying to do research and you're citing your sources, then this is well, none of my pages have been de-indexed.
And are they ranking well? Is the AI content
Well,
ranking
nobody's
well on your
searching
site?
for the stuff I'm writing about at the moment. Nobody's searching for content effort. Nobody's searching for site radius score. Nobody's which is the underpinning of top.
So it's ranking well, but these keywords are not competitive.
None of the keywords I'm targeting at the moment are competitive in any shape or form.
But you're ranking number one for your target keywords, nonetheless.
At the moment, I don't really have any target keywords.
Okay.
Okay. And I do have a massive meta test going on with that at the moment.
Interesting.
Which I don't really want to go into too much about.
That's okay.
But I will. Maybe we can talk again in the future when
let me ask you this. I want to ask you this. What SEO tasks do you think should never be handed fully to AI? Strategy.
Yeah. The AI is not going to deliver your SEO strategy. I mean, of course, it's all going to depend on what you put in. I mean, if you knew someone who you could ask it to check, or a few different people we want to take their strategies and merge it together. I mean, that's all right, but just out the box, you're not going to get any kind of winning kind of SEO strat. You're going to get the basics.
Yeah, I agree
The
with that.
the I mean, SEO is usually a bit clever, spotting things, cleverness, opportunism. For instance, I'll give you an example. Back in 2014, I ranked number 2 behind Wikipedia for SEO. Um, the in the How I ranked was I sat. This was when I was thinking about links. I sat one day and I thought, what is the best link in the UK I can get to make all my rankings go up? And I thought, well, just the nature of Google. I thought the most important site in the UK is probably a university website. Just thinking about what Google is. And I thought, okay, so what is the biggest university? It's Oxford University, basically. And then so I went and looked on Oxford University, and there was a page about SEO, and there was an SEO tutorial link that was broken. And so I emailed the guy and says, can you point that link to my site? And they did. And instantly, I ranked for SEO services, SEO, just one link. And that was up there for about a year or two, and then it was removed, and then rankings collapsed.
Do you have more stories like that? More like creative backlink strategies?
Yep. So, well, people were paying. I remember somebody saying they paid £10,000 for a university link, and I remember looking at the website itself, and on the website there was alumni pages and things. I was like, you could just literally, and there was something I used to do. I used to tell everybody, put up a jobs page, and then send it to the universities, every universities, for their job fairs and things like that. And all these universities linked to jobs and job openings.
Wait, you invented that strategy?
Well, I never invented. I'm on set.
Yeah,
I'm on set. I was interviewed on Search Engine Land in 2012. Was it Garrett? No.
Barry?
Was
Search Engine Land.
It was Search Engine Land.
Could be Barry.
Link building experts shared their top tactics or something, and that was the one I submitted. I've submitted.
That's still a favorite today.
As I said, nothing's really changed. I mean,
that or like and sponsoring, giving like sponsorships to universities.
Yep.
Or offering scholarships. Excuse me, that's what
Yep.
it is. Offering scholarships. Yeah.
Yep. Yes, I was on Search Engine Land. It was a kind of group thing. Yep, and that was my submission. Universities. Well, I was really heavily into all that stuff back in the day. Really heavily into link building. But not in a black hat way, really. It was more about the opportunities, about seeing that kind of stuff and seeing how clever you could be and things. I really wasn't interested in X-Rumor or anything like that. There was no art in that for me.
The creative white hat link building is some of the, in my opinion, that's some of the coolest link building. That's like some of the most fun.
Yep.
Like I love hearing. I have a bunch of stories of my own, but I like hearing from other people. And so that story that you shared about Oxford is crazy. If you have any more, like I'd love to hear them because I like stories like this.
Well, I can tell you how I controlled an entire niche.
That sounds interesting.
I mean, I've done this a few times, but
oh my gosh,
let's go for it because
let's go for
this
it.
is demonstrable. I'm not in the niche anymore. I'm not interested. I'll never go back in it. I once almost totally controlled the alcohol rehab and drug rehab niche, with thousands of exact match domain names. And how I actually did it with the content was I had access to a government database with statistics. So it said that, so did everybody if you go out and look at it. But it said that, say for instance, it said that 10% of people in the UK had an alcohol problem. Okay, then I extrapolated that for each region and said, well, if there's 100 people in this town, then 10 people must have an alcohol problem. And so it was actually extrapolating national statistics down to a granular level. And so what I did was I made thousands of these exact match domain names, and now I'm not really wanting to, because I seen someone talking about something this other day, so I need to be careful here. This is the last conversation I had with Aaron Wall, actually, when I showed him how I'd done this back in the day. The main thing was that the homepage was unique. Now, but what happens when the homepage is unique and the homepage is just like a front for the same site? If I can talk around that bit. So, in effect, you're only making homepages. Now, what I was banking on was that if I ranked, and it was an exact match domain, if I ranked for the term, then when people clicked on the homepage, Google was. I've got to watch myself here. Let's just say Google couldn't see really what was behind the homepage, but users could, and users were always happy. So you get ranking in that loot and let the nav boost deal with the rest. Now, we didn't know it was called nav boost at the time, or craps. Are you familiar with this?
What are the of course, but what did the statistics have to do with it?
Original content.
Mm.
Because on the homepage we had original content that was written. So there was original information gain that was extrapolated from
So was
actual
it,
data.
I mean, I don't know if you can say, was it like it was just cloaked, or was it like a redirect after a couple of seconds? Was there a big link at the top?
Much simpler. Much simpler. I mean, you basically had the site fully operational behind. Let's just say there was a lot of duplicated sites with unique homepages.
Okay.
So,
and how was this getting you backlinks? Because we were talking about link building strategies, or maybe this is different.
Well, we're interlinking them all as well.
You said you were interlinking all of them.
Yep.
Oh.
Not all of them.
Okay.
And we all knew kind of how PageRank operated. So, and I always had access to PageRank sources. I mean, even back in the day, my own website had a PageRank 7. I had the same PageRank as MSN or something at the time, and so I knew from a very, very early days that PageRank, at least toolbar PageRank, was totally detached from where you actually ranked or your rankings. Just having a high page rank, for instance, didn't automatically mean that all your pages ranked. Because they'd separated that. They'd already separated that back in the day.
I actually have a different question.
Yep.
Which is because I want to move towards today. So my question is, like, today, because there's going to be people listening who are still like, I have pages that I think should be ranking and they're not ranking, or this site is not ranking at all. What do you find to be the fastest way to tell if a website's SEO traffic problem, like a problem that they're having, is technical, or it's content, or it's authority based? Is there like something that you do? Because I want to, I guess, try to hear more your take about content and EAT versus if it's a technical issue versus if it's like authority with links.
might be none of that. For instance, one of the systems in the Google leak, now this was a leap even for me, but it looked like the system myself and Black Hats were talking about for years, where Google was working out the number of URLs that was published in a certain time period. So, how many?
Velocity.
Yep. So if you're triggering these systems, and it's not just velocity, it's velocity compared to what you were doing in the previous period. So this is all going to get normalized at some point. So you just can't just keep publishing, and seeing your traffic going up like that. Eventually, there's going to be a correction. I call it I have got a hypothesis, a correction hypothesis. I have posted it and I've showed graphs about it that clearly demonstrate this in action. Now, how long it takes for Google to actually work this out is up for debate. Because some people go on, some people seem to go on for longer time periods than other people. It's not just a black and white thing that you can say, oh, you're publishing too many pages for your history, for instance. So if I had a piece of content that wasn't ranking, now when you're saying ranking, do you mean ranking for a key term, or do you mean
That's a good
index and
question.
ranking for the title tag?
That's a good question. Because you're right. Both, we'll do both. So one, like nothing's getting indexed. Two, things are getting indexed, but they're not ranking for their target keywords, which they even in, let's say, target keywords that they think are like not even that difficult, not even that competitive.
Okay.
So let's start with like why it won't be indexing. Common reasons. The fastest way to tell why something isn't even being indexed.
If a site has problems getting pages indexed, then it's going to be a site quality problem. It's going to be a site-wide site quality problem. Now, site quality, I mean, this is what people talk about. What is site quality and stuff? Again, there's so many nuances. Are we talking about an established site? Are we talking about a new site? There's. I'm trying to think. So at the moment, for instance, I'm working on a project. I can't go into in too much because I'm doing some stuff. I think it's more I think it might be more valuable to just tell you what the fix would be for all of them, so to speak, in this day and age. The first thing I'd focus on was entity SEO nowadays. This is the first thing I'd focus on, whether you're a new site or you're an established site. I'd focus on entity SEO. Now entity SEO sounds complicated and stuff, but I mean you can kick it off by registering with Google My Business, Google Business, My Business Profile, whatever it's called now. I still call it Google Webmaster Guidelines. I know that's.
You mean Google? You mean Google My Business?
Yep. So
yeah, you still call it that. Yeah, Google Business Profile now.
Even when the HCU people were being hit, one of the one I thought it was noticeable that one of the people who was I say moaning about the problem, but that was very valid moans. When they went to that conference with Google, and Google sat there and one of the Googlers says one of the Googlers kept going on about verification. You know, about verifying the entity, and they were talking about Google My Business, for instance.
So this is actually interesting because I've asked several guests of this podcast, should non-local businesses have a Google business profile? And you're saying even if you're not a local business, like let's say that you're a news site, or let's say that you're a SaaS, a software as a service, you're saying, and you serve internationally, or you're read internationally, and you're saying that you should still have a Google business profile.
If you're eligible for a Google business profile, and there's a lot of eligibility criteria nowadays, but if you're eligible, you should have a profile. I mean, this is your first step to work out that eligibility.
And you're saying that something like this passes kind of like eat signals in a way.
A large part of Google's algorithm, apparently, according to the leak, is actually looking at the entity as a whole, and even Search Console now is bringing in social signals and stuff, isn't it? It's they've just launched this. To be honest, I've actually took 2 weeks off, trying to give myself.
But yeah, YouTube and Google Search Console.
So I've not even looked at that yet because I was trying to take a week.
It's in beta.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting. Darren Shaw. I don't know if you know him. Yeah. So he came on the podcast.
White Spark.
And White Spark. Yeah. And he shared. I thought that was so fascinating. He's like, if you make any change at all to your Google business profile, even the most minor thing, you see that Google will crawl your entire website, everything. And he's looking at the log files to see this, and Google will crawl your entire website to verify that this change that was made to Google Business Profile is consistent across your language and what you say on your website.
They must think
that's the entity.
They must think the entity SEO is kind of important then. And I mean, look at AdWords and stuff. I mean, you've got to submit that you're a real business and stuff, and Facebook and things like that. You've got to submit that you're a real entity.
So have like social profiles.
Well, all of this stuff can be faked as well. So it's not just about the. I mean, you can fake.
Yeah, but we're talking. We're talking more so for the white hats out there, the genuine businesses.
Yep.
Just the genuine businesses. They're fine with doing things by the book. They want to do things by the book. They want to have a sustainable business, and they're just like, I want to rank better on Google, or I want to rank like I'm not ranking at all. So you're saying, yeah, create social profiles, post every so often.
Certainly. I mean, I've built an actual software in Google Sheets to do this exact thing. You should be promoting your content to the social networks. I mean, this comes before SEO now. I mean, even me as an SEO, I probably wouldn't start with SEO now. If I was launching a new site, of course there would be basic SEO stuff there. But I wouldn't just start with SEO. It's the whole entity I'm thinking about here. It's about.
Oh, so you're saying that you would have the site, you would do things well, but you would also create profiles in different platforms for the site and link to the site.
Specifically Facebook,
link in bio.
LinkedIn, and X to start off with. And YouTube, for instance. I mean, I see
100%.
I see you and David having fun ranking for almost anything with your parasite SEO strategy.
It's not parasite SEO. That's my podcast. I have a widely watched podcast in the SEO community. Thank you to the viewers and to the listeners. And people like the show, and it ranks for the things that it should rank for. I don't even think it's not like I'm not deliberately doing things black hat with like this podcast. What I do is I put in like thorough descriptions for each episode. The title actually isn't super optimized for SEO. I try to do the title that will get the most clicks, but the description is well optimized for SEO. And yeah, I mean, I have like a good YouTube, I guess.
Well,
But I think of parasite SEO as being more black hat.
well,
I don't know if I would call it.
in the Google leak, I've not published any of this yet. I might at some point, but there's a lot of stuff about YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. I mean, YouTube is the #1 most clicked website from Google search.
So, and there's a reason for this. Do you know what I mean? Google want your content. I mean, YouTube is a place for content creators. I mean, this is what Google's trying to do.
But also like this is like a constant conversation. It's just like video content can be faster and more engaging than trying to find your answer on a blog post.
Well, you're the first podcast I've done in over 15 years, I think.
Thank you, by the way, for coming on this. You are a very desired guest for many podcasts, and for the people who don't know, one of the top people in search engine optimization. So thank you again for coming on the show.
Well, thank you very much.
In the last one in 15 years. What was the one that you did 15 years ago?
I believe it was with Terry Van Horn and David the Gypsy. I don't remember. Remember I told you everybody's got funny names back then. What's David's second name? Oh, it's lost me for a moment.
It's okay. It's okay.
And we just talked. I never appeared on screen or anything. I don't usually. That's not really my game. So I prefer.
Thank you for doing it.
I prefer writing and reading, and so I would disagree with you slightly.
Interesting. Well, about the engagement.
Well, no. You're totally right about the engagement and stuff.
It's just for you personally.
Yeah. Some people like writing. Some people. So you've got to actually. It really is. Search everywhere optimization as has been put out there. I will be citing that lady again. I've got a post I'm citing. I forget her name again at the moment. Who actually come up with that. I like citing people who come up with this stuff. As opposed to these influencers who put stuff out there as if they've come up with it.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
There's not really that many original ideas in SEO. It's all been done before. All for people that have a lot more experience than any of these influencers that are out there at the moment.
I'm an influencer, but I well, the thing is, okay, so here's the nuance. Here's the nuanced answer. On the podcast, I credit people. Like I just talked about Darren Shaw when he came on the show and he said that. On TikTok and Instagram, if you try to credit someone, you will lose engagement and your video won't do well. So then what you should do is you should credit somebody in the description. But if you credit somebody in the video, like on TikTok or an Instagram reel or a Facebook reel, just people aren't going to watch it. It's going to underperform.
That's great.
Most of the time.
That's great intel.
That's the reality.
That's great intel there. I wouldn't care about that.
But you are not a 21-year-old like scrolling. You're not. I mean, you're just not. I don't see you as the average. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see you as the average TikTok user.
Not got TikTok.
That's what I'm saying. How often do you watch Instagram Reels?
I don't have an Instagram account either.
You don't have an Instagram. That's what I'm saying. So for the average person, if you actually like give like a thorough answer and cite your research in the video, people are just going to be like, that's for most things. It depends on like if it's like something that is interesting or inflammatory enough, then people might want to hear where it came from.
Yep.
I
totally get you there. And of course, you can always explain where you got the inspiration from in a blog post or something. And then if people wanted to, you could always point them in a direction, after the fact, after your viral video, whatever. I've not got a problem with that at all. It's normally I cite just everything I do. I'm not really looking for views at the moment at all like that. It's for my own personal work. when I did rank for SEO and stuff, at the top. I mean,
In 2002, yeah.
No, 2014, round about then.
Oh, it was 2014 that you got the Oxford link and ranked?
Yeah, round about then. Yep.
Second. Wow, that's crazy.
Yep.
Wait, so it's 2014, you were ranking number 2 for just SEO.
Yep. And then,
because you got this link from Oxford.
Yep.
Oh, that's amazing.
That effectively put me out of business in a certain sense, because I ended up taking on a lot of clients and stuff I had no business working with. That I had no interest in their business. I had no interest in what people were asking me to do at that point.
That's a good problem to have, though. That you have so much demand, what I mean.
I've learned to deal with that now because I don't respond to every piece of demand that I do try and respond to everyone. But for instance, over the last 3 months, I've not even checked my emails, and
wow,
because and I do apologise to people that's waiting to hear from me. I will get back to everybody before the end of the year, but I didn't want to get in the way of the work I was doing this year, which was very intensive. I mean, I think I wrote 4 books in 3 months.
That's crazy. That's amazing.
A 4th book was 1,000 pages long.
Oh my gosh! Can you share the books?
I think Hobo SEO quadrilogy. That will you'll be able to find them there.
So what? It's like 4,000 pages about SEO?
No, it must be about 2,000 pages all in or something.
Wow. Wow.
But it's a continuation of the work that not just me, but the wider community, the wider SEO community were doing. Even in the books, I do reference the people that I admire and respect.
Are there people, sorry to interrupt you, are there people who are, right now, 2025, who are doing interesting SEO experiments? Like 10 years ago, maybe you would say like Rand Fishkin was doing some crazy SEO experiments. Maybe you'd still say him. But like people to follow right now who are doing some really interesting SEO experiments that you see.
Yep. David Quaid, one of them. He actually does it a lot. I did tell him this. He actually does it almost exactly the way I used to do it. I mean, I used to show people how easy it was to modify things and modify Google to get it to say what you want. I'm more interested in making sure that whatever Google's saying is truthful about you rather than too salesy. Who else? Well, there's a few young men. I don't even know if I can say these names. I'm not used to saying these names. Is it?
Oh, okay.
Mehmet?
You just see them online.
Mehmet, Turkish boy.
Okay, I'm not sure.
I need to look this boy up. Can you give me 1 sec?
Yeah, sure. Mehmet, it's interesting.
He's doing. He's doing a lot of stuff on. He's doing a lot of stuff. In fact, he came up with. In fact, I know where it is because he's in the top AI SEO strategies that I.
Interesting.
That I was actually.
I mean, lots of people want to follow him now.
Yep. Give me 1 sec because I do want to get this boy mentioned.
Do you remember while you're searching? Can you share one of his strategies?
One of them was a direct link into your assistant of choice, asking about a page that you've got. So, for instance, if you have a page on if you have a page and you have a link that says open this up on ChatGPT, open this up on Gemini or whatever, then you're kind of getting into you're inserting your brand into their own personal assistant space. Give me 1 second. This will make a lot sooner. So many names going through my brain.
Emmet SEO AI. I'm googling this myself, but I don't.
See,
yeah, I don't know who.
I am just about. I'm starting with the people I've actually not added to my kind of blog role at the moment. I'm about to make a more expansive kind of blog role of especially some of the people today who's doing some good work. For instance, David is going to be.
I think I found it. Is it Mehmet Karagash? Or
I hope you're going to.
Mehmet Aktug. Oh, maybe Mehmet Aktug. Digital Growth Generative AI SEO. 11,500 followers on LinkedIn.
No.
Not this person. Okay.
No. I hope you're going to edit this bit.
Not really, actually. This comes out tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a very crazy podcast. I do this every day, and then they come out the next day. And for the guest episodes, because they're so long, I show the active speaker. I show the person who's speaking and the reactions as the person is speaking. But no, I don't really do thorough edits. It's more so a conversation.
Okay, give me.
I think we can. You know what? You can message me the name after, and I can put it in the description.
Okay. I've actually got a. Let's see what's going wrong here.
Because I feel like we're getting stuck on this.
Okay, carry on. It will come back to me in a moment.
Yeah. You are a very fascinating individual, and this has been a lot of fun.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
I specifically like hearing your thoughts on the Google leak. Actually, I guess before we wrap, if I were to ask you for the 3 things from the Google API leak last year that surprised you the most, what do you think they were? That surprised you, someone who's already experienced with SEO, the 3 things that surprised you the most from the Google API leak last year?
It wasn't really a massive. There was nothing in it that really massively surprised me. I mean, everything that I found in the leak, the gold mine stuff, for instance. I mean, it was interesting, but it all kind of pointed towards what Google had been telling us. I know people don't like to hear that very much. That they don't. That they think that that Google's always lying. I was always of the mind that Google was telling us the truth, essentially, of how their systems worked. And so was the biggest surprise for other people would be that Google wasn't lying. I think that would be the biggest surprise.
That Google was, you said, wasn't lying.
Google isn't lying.
But I thought they weren't honest about NavBoost.
What do you mean? When did this? Oh, they're talking about clicks.
Yeah.
Now, do you see? Are you referring to Gary Elias's comment?
Yes.
I mean, he said that.
He said dwell time, click-through rate, whatever Rand Fishkin's on about is a whole bunch of garbage, essentially.
No, made up crap.
He said that. No, I know he said that.
Yep. And then when you go and look at the Google leak, the system that they use is actually called crap. I mean, this is the way Google works. So even in that slight that Gary Elias was kind of doing to throw shade on Rand at the time, the crap system is actually the system that would most reflect what dwell time and click-through rate actually, how that manifests. So, and that's Gary's humour, isn't it? So, something, two other surprising, not surprising things, but at least interesting things, I think, is the content effort score that I think people should pay attention to, and they should use Gemini to actually rate their content. The second most kind of surprising thing was that topical authority seems to be broken down into very easy to understand systems. So you have site focus score, which is basically what your site is about and how you stick on topic. Now news sites are treated differently, but not everybody's a news site. So you've got your site focus score, and then for each page, the way I think it looks as though it works is you have a site radius scoring. So for each page, it's basically the page is being checked against your site focus and how far it deviates. And so you can get a clear idea of kind of topical authority, or how people call it. There's lots of different things that describe topical authority. Topical authority is a made-up word. Topical cohesion from Carolyn Hosman, I think, describes what you can do on site actually better. She corrected me when I published my post about topical authority. She says, well, I think topical cohesion actually makes it easier to understand the on-site aspect, because you can build topical cohesion. People call it all different names: topical spread, topical, but you've got on-site topical something, and then you've got off-site, so which is links and your entity and things like that. So for specifically on-site, yep, you want to keep focused around your content, and you want to expand your content through Corey. You know Corey, yep. It's right into Corey. Is it Two Bear?
It's okay. Continue. Something like that. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
I really don't. I'm really not good with pronouncing Turkish names.
Yeah.
I'll shout out to Gagan as well.
Goggins, great. He's been on the podcast many times.
Yep. I've seen him recently. I think he's going places. He knows what he's talking about as well. But yeah, for me, the Google leak is some of the most important things to take from it is content effort and the site focus score, site radius, topical authority there. I think that's the most useful for people to get their heads around. I think people should really look at the 8 quality rater guidelines, and I think they should read them and understand that the guidelines are basically Google telling you how they separate spam from legitimate sites. And so you've got to move your site towards because the spam machine every couple of months cuts these sites, trims these sites out from ranking. So you want to align your site. I wouldn't listen to people saying you're ignoring 8 to ignore 8. you've got to start with you've got to, or you're always going to be on the back foot. So add as much information to your footer as possible. Have a good about.
To your footer, add as much information to your footer as possible. Have a good about.
Yep. Have proper privacy website terms that suit your business model. It's not just about having a basic bog standard. You've got to protect the customer. If you're using AI, you should have an AI policy. You should have an editorial policy on the site. And you should clearly demonstrate who's...
Can you talk about the AI policy? So because everyone uses AI on their sites. Everyone will use maybe to generate a sentence, to generate an outline, to make a few images.
Exactly. So
yeah, so have an AI policy.
Yep. And clearly show, because again, if you're using Gemini to work out your content effort, it will detect if you've got an AI policy. For instance, in this lens,
what's a good thing to put in your AI policy? Most of the content on the site is human written and uses AI to augment the AI to augment the writing slightly.
Yep.
But everything is fully reviewed and edited by a human, and all the ideas come from a human, and the AI just helps people write sometimes.
Well, yes, exactly. But it's about the author takes ownership as well. So
Yeah.
the author, so you've got your on-page bio, for instance, that may say, I'm a big fan of disclosures as well.
I saw that on your site.
Yep. I go overboard at a minute with disclosures because I really want people to understand. Look, I'm using AI here in a way that I've nobody's used it before. It's to work out complex systems and things. You've got to use critical thinking here. You've got to do some investigation yourself. Certainly when I'm talking about content effort and stuff, I'm always pointing to the Google helpful content guidelines, that what Google's actually telling you. And as I said, when I've looked at the leak, and I've talked to Googlers and stuff, they do make the odd mistake. They do. What was one of them? What was the one that come to mind? John Mueller said they do make the odd mistake where they say, "Oh, we don't do that" or whatever. But then you find out, oh well, they kind of do, and then you find out that John Mueller's deleted that tweet. You know what? There's the odd incident like that, but pardon me, I'm getting a bit of a cold starting. In my experience, Googlers are not there to lie to you. They're not here to help spammers. And you're supposed to read the guidelines. I mean, don't go to a Googler.
Read the direction manual.
Yes.
No one ever reads the direction manual.
Yes. Don't you don't phone support without reading the support manual. Read the support manual.
Lots of people do that though.
Yes.
I've probably done that myself quite a bit. Like, the answer was in the documentation the whole time. Sorry for bothering you.
Well, I always...
too much documentation.
I think there's no excuse for that now, especially with AI. You can ask AI and get it to check. Ask a bridge, go and check it. A bit of advice would be, feel free to reach out to a Googler if you've got a real site, you're demonstrating it, you've got experience in a niche, you're not spamming, and you've got a problem. Reach out to a Googler in that instance if your life is...
And you're saying just finds a Googler on LinkedIn.
Yep.
What should somebody search for to find somebody on LinkedIn to message?
Well, the main people we deal with is John and Gary. So that's the main Googlers that deal with. So Gary Elias and John Wheeler. These are the two that. Now, I have very limited experience with Gary, for instance. I know another couple of Googlers. I know John from back in the forums, actually. From before John, when John. I mean, I think it's before John was a Googler. At least publicly. So you probably better find them on Blue Sky at the moment, because they've all run away off X after HCU, because they were just getting abused. They were just getting abuse. Every time they posted something, they were being abused by unhappy HCU victims. Even though people like myself and Lily Ray, for instance, were shouting from the rooftops saying, look, everybody's going to get penalised here in this content gold rush, the AI. And a Googler specifically said to me in a private message that they're just not ranking text that anybody can produce from an AI chatbot. They're just not going to do it. So when you're producing content, I'll give you one last tip. When you're producing content using AI, you want to put your own experience into it. You want to be using first person, second person, third person through all your text, not just one aspect. So for instance, feature snippets. 99% of feature snippets back in the day were all second person, I noticed. And I instantly ranked feature snippets right out the gate by taking a piece of text. So you would take your text, and then you would make a 50 word summary of that using short sentences. Is get as much information about that page in that 50-page paragraph. It doesn't even need to be at the top of the page, but it works better at the top of the page. Second person, because a feature snippet talks to the user. It gives them an instruction. So, but now, of course, they're kind of using AI. They kind of do this. They're kind of taking the information and doing that now. So you hardly even need to do this yourself now, because AI is actually doing this. AI overviews, taking a piece of content and then turning it into a kind of non-first person window, on Google search. In my experience, I never found that many feature snippets back in the day that was first person. Second person, this is something me and Cyrus Shepherd kind of disagreed on back when he was talking about first person. I'm a believer that a page needs to have it all. It needs to have first person, second person. So first person for the experience. You're adding things about yourself, how many years experience you might have talking about this subject, blah blah blah. You're mentioning experts in the niche. This demonstrates that you know the niche. It demonstrates experience. You're mentioning other people who, for instance, if I was talking about eat, I often mention Lily Ray, Marie Haynes, Glenn Gabe. So many names here.
It's okay. It's okay.
So I'll always mention these people because these people talk about it, and the fact that I am mentions adding to the consensus, it demonstrates that I know the topic. So, but this is just good writing. Do you know what I mean? And it's transparency.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's in SEO is very largely been equated by Google This is the biggest problem I've got with Google because they made us into spammers. They call us spam. They equated SEO with spam for so long to try and because SEO was the biggest threat to Google, and that's why they had to deal with this with Penguin and HCU and stuff like that. You don't just turn up in Google and start making money off of Google. I mean, that's, for any SEO out there thinking that they're just going to turn up and it's, I'll make thousands with SEO and stuff like that, I would be very wary. Chances are it's not going to work out like that for you. Google has so many hurdles and checks and balances now that, as I said, any campaign today should start with social. You should have.
Interesting.
You should have
Interesting take.
You should have a. Now, when I say that, if I had a budget for SEO, I mean, let's talk about nuances here. If I had a budget for SEO, I'd be telling somebody to organise digital PR.
I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit on that one, because a lot of local businesses, for example, like they're going after keywords that aren't very competitive, where there is a lot of purchase intent. They just don't know how to do SEO properly. And it's actually pretty easy for them to rank really fast for their target keywords. And then these target keywords are keywords again with purchase intent. The phones start ringing, and they're able to reinvest into marketing, reinvest into SEO, and
Right, okay,
So
can I just add to that there? Just one thing.
Sure. Sure.
I had a bit of controversy. Is local SEO even SEO? I mean, local.
What do you mean? Is it a local SEO? If you have like a lawn mowing business in Dallas, Texas, and you're putting up like service pages about like we offer lawn mowing services in Dallas, Texas, and those are ranking number 1, and you're doing it in various ways that people are searching for this, is that SEO? That's 100% SEO.
Right, okay.
You can do the same thing with the SaaS, the software as a service. You can do the same thing with an e-commerce.
Yep, okay. So, of course, I've just been facetious. Sorry, I've got my Scottish accent around that word. What I mean is local SEO should be and is extremely simple. I mean, you just put your website up and you put your landing pages up for targeting specific. You targeting if you're lawnmower and I'm in a town, then you put your lawnmower and town in the title, and you put it up, and then you join Google Local Business, and then Google My Business, and then you get reviews, and then you turn your iPhone and your Android machines on every time if you've got an office or whatever, if you've got in a local business, you turn your iPhone, you make sure your iPhone's tracking you going into your work and stuff. If you've got 10 people in your office, you turn all their iPhones on and make sure that when they're travelling to work and stuff, that that Google's actually tracking them going to this office every day. This kind of stuff's not really, it's not really, I mean, would you call it global SEO, international SEO, national SEO, local SEO? All these things are all very nuanced and with different tactics. Local SEO should be and is very straightforward. Max out your profiles, social and Google. Put up your landing pages with basic optimization. Max out with your business details and stuff. Tell people who is legally responsible for the site on your about page. You've got plenty of ways to drive traffic to a local business as well. Google helps you. A lot of different social media sites help you. And then even from a link building point of view, you can really get away with a lot in a local a local SEO site, you can buy paid links and stuff. You can buy a paid link off your local football team. Nobody cares about that. You can get a paid link off your charity. These charities in your town, they're paid links. Google's not going to bother about those because those are part of normal commerce. I mean, if you were sponsoring the local football team, you're going to get a link. Uh, you've paid for that link, but it's a local. It's part of the community. It's part of the commerce. These things have always happened. So local SEO, I think, and I'm not poo-pooing. There's an art to every kind of SEO. Is even with you with your keyword strategy. There's an art to every kind of SEO. Now, but as I say, you can do SEO without a budget or with a budget. If you've got a budget, invest heavily in digital PR. Once you've sorted out the eat stuff. If you've not got a budget, then and you're a small local business, follow the kind of local business stuff that I just kind of talked about there. Just a few landing pages. If you start making landing pages for all these different locations, eventually Google will de-index a lot of the pages, and almost like sometimes like quantum physics, some locations will rank while others won't, and it'll be constantly a changing doorway pages. It's called basically. That's what Google call it.
Yeah, doorway pages. I talk about that all the time.
Yep.
I mean, that's a. I've made many podcasts about doorway pages, and they have a doorway page policy.
Yep. Because back in the day that was SEO. I mean, that was literally SEO. You were just everywhere. People still do it now. Some pages rank, and more often than not, most pages don't. It depending on your level of eat. I will say that again. If you've got thousands of doorway pages, only 5% of them is going to be indexed. You'll never know which 5%. It will change constantly. So, yep. Maybe we can talk again in the future about specific things about the leak and stuff. I only talk. This is where most of my online kind of fights come from. I remember saying to Charles Float, one some friendly way. I think he was on before. Your kind of SEO is not my kind of SEO. There's lots of kind of SEO. Now, I'm not saying that he only does a certain type of SEO. Of course he doesn't. He's getting legitimate now, of course. But he's not going to use his total black hat strategies on his main money site, on a naked money site. Because there's a time window there. And again, and all the businesses I work for are long-term businesses. So you can't use a lot of SEO strategies for these businesses, but you can use it for other businesses. So there's not one way to do SEO. It's so nuanced, so widespread. There's a lot of art to be found everywhere. Just get relevant, get popular, and get trusted. I mean, I think I wrote that in 2009, and nothing's changed.
Mr. Anderson, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having us.
Where should everybody find you, follow you? Yeah, your books, they're out now?
Yep. Yep, the Hobo Web quadrilogy. I just come up with that name when I wrote the fourth book. You can just search for that. It should come up in Google. And Hobo Web on most social networks, not the Instagram and, and TikTok and stuff.
And TikTok, yeah. And all of your links will be in the description for this show. Please stick around after I hit stop recording, because your video will have to upload. But yeah, again, you are a legend in SEO. You've done crazy experiments, some crazy things. I'm going to compare you to Neo in the Matrix, not just because of Mr. Anderson, but because of the things that you have done within search engine optimization. So thank you again for coming on.
Thanks very much. Maybe next time we speak, we can focus in on one particular area. I felt as if we're a wee bit all over the place today. I'm not used to speaking to somebody on YouTube. Forgive me if I've warbled on too much.
Oh, no. Yeah, this is episode 906 of The Edward Show. 906 days in a row doing this podcast.
Well done.
Thanks again to Shaun. And thank you for watching. If you watch this on YouTube or if you listened on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, thank you so much for listening. And I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.